Some betrayals don't scream. They sit beside you at the dinner table, call you by your childhood name, and ask you to trust them, knowing you will. My name is Amelia, and the people who changed my life the most were not strangers, not enemies, but the very ones who shared my blood, my home, and my past. This is not a story about anger or destruction. This is a story about what happens when a woman stops explaining her pain and starts understanding her position. Before loss taught me caution, I was uncomplicated. I believed effort would always be noticed, that sincerity would always be returned, that family bonds were immune to calculation. In our home, roles were already written long before I understood them. My elder brother Adil was decisive, confident, and naturally obeyed. People trusted his voice without questioning his intent. My younger sister Mina was gentle in appearance, emotionally expressive, always protected. I existed between them, not weak, not powerful, but useful. I handled responsibilities quietly. I adjusted schedules. I resolved tensions. I believed this balance made me mature. I didn't realize it made me replaceable. When our father passed away, the house did not fall apart. It reorganized. Grief did not unite us. It exposed us. Conversations became strategic. Decisions happened faster. Adil took control naturally, speaking to lawyers and relatives with confidence that no one questioned. Mina leaned into vulnerability, becoming someone people instinctively defended. And I was told to rest, to not stress, to trust. I trusted because I didn't yet understand that trust without awareness is a liability. It didn't happen all at once. It happened in meetings I wasn't invited to, in documents I was told were formalities, in phrases like, "You don't need to worry about this and we'll explain later." I was included just enough to feel involved, excluded just enough to remain uninformed. I noticed it, but dismissed it. After all, why would the people who grew up with me intentionally remove me? Awareness rarely arrives dramatically. It arrives quietly, often too late. I saw the documents accidentally. My name wasn't missing by mistake. It had been removed with intention. When I asked, there was no panic, only calm explanations. Adil spoke as if explaining a business decision. Mina avoided eye contact, standing close to him. They told me this was practical, that I was safer this way. That responsibility suited them better. And suddenly I understood something painful. They had already decided who I was allowed to be. That night, I didn't sleep. I didn't cry loudly. I sat with the realization that my kindness had been measured and used against me. I saw my past clearly for the first time. How often I had stepped back to keep peace. How rarely anyone had stepped forward for me. I didn't confront them again. Not because I was afraid, but because I understood confrontation would change nothing. What needed to change was me. I left quietly. No announcements, no accusations. I built a life that didn't depend on them knowing what I was doing. I took work that taught me structure, independence, and patience. I learned how systems work, how paperwork tells stories, how people behave when they think no one is watching. I became observant instead of emotional, calm instead of reactive. And in that calm, I discovered something powerful. Distance reveals truth. From the outside, I saw them clearly for the first time. Adil grew careless with authority. Mina grew confident in manipulation. They were comfortable because they'd believed the hardest part was over. They didn't notice me anymore. And that was the moment I became strongest, when I stopped being central to their narrative. Truth has its own timing. It doesn't rush. And it doesn't need force. When inconsistencies appeared, when questions were asked, when explanations were required, I did nothing dramatic. I didn't interfere. I didn't protect. I allowed accuracy to exist. When they finally reached out to me, voices uncertain, language softened, I listened. I didn't respond emotionally. I responded correctly. I didn't take more than what belonged to me. I didn't seek satisfaction in their discomfort. I took clarity, independence, ownership of my life. I walked away without needing closure from them because closure does not come from apologies. It comes from alignment. Today, I am careful with access. I am warm without being exposed. I understand that silence is not weakness, and patience is not passivity. Some lessons arrive through loss, and some strength is built by being underestimated. If you are listening to this story and feel unseen in your own family, remember this: You don't need to fight loudly to change your position. Sometimes, the most powerful move is to step back, observe, grow, and let truth speak when you no longer need to.